Can we go back pick this one?
I know what time it is.
Hello, independent filmmaker here, Adolfo Navarro. This video is going to focus a little bit more on the VFX towards a challenge. So if you ever do film challenges, 72 hours, 24 hours, or 48 hours, or 2-week challenges, or month-long challenges, or whatever it be. I enjoy talking about the process of doing film challenges because it basically gets you really charged up and really prepared for when you're actually going to do long productions that with a lot more time involved, bigger scale. But doing a film in no time, it gets your mind going, you think really creatively outside the box, and great things can come of that. I've already done a number of videos talking about behind the scenes of what we did during film challenges. You can check out those links all over the place here. But I wanted just to focus mainly on why we made the decisions when I wanted to go with this VFX driven crazy film called Van Damage. Mainly focus on why we did it practically as opposed to just completely CG or in After Effects. Marrying the two together is really where the magic happens. This was a part of the almost famous 72-hour film challenge 2020. So everything started kind of with like every film challenge starts. You get a guideline, you get a prop, you get a line of dialogue, you get certain things that you have to put in your film. So we end up going to this kickoff challenge, and they basically have all the other filmmakers there, and you connect with others, you create your own teams, you start preparing for the next, how many days you have. Then in this case it was 72 hours. So once we got those guidelines and everything, basically at the end of the night there, after that happened, we went home and started making this script, and once we got everything ready, the next day we started to shoot.
Here we are at a park at sunrise, about to start our film.
So we start out the film with a very challenging VFX shot of my daughter throwing a sword through herself, jumping in the air, and in midair, she's gonna pull the sword out of her head, flip, and then land and do a hero pose. With that in mind, that's what we tried to do.
One.
I shot the plates of her throwing the sword and everything, and then her jumping up in the air, and then basically what you do is you cut from there, you shoot the moving plate with nothing there, and then you go ahead and pretty much do it again, but have her jump in the same shot. And then you kind of mesh all 3 shots together. But then something happened, and I realized when I got back home later that night that she was faced the wrong way. She should have flipped forward, flip, and then landed with her back to the camera. So I was like, how would she have came at the camera, flipped, and then faced the camera landing? So we had to get clever. So we're here, and I'm in the middle of editing the film right now. I think I'm on hour 48 right now. We weren't able to finish that sequence to shoot her do her actual flipping and the green screen and chair of death right here. So we're gonna do that right now. So basically I was like, okay, so we have to have her jump in the air, flip forward, spin to the land. So I already had this mapped out where I was gonna put her on a green screen chair, and then we spin her, and then I was gonna rotate her and everything. But now after I had to transition that shot into something else. So I basically had her stand against the green screen and just kind of do just standing spins. So then it's all up to me to try to transition those two, and it actually ended up working out. So when you're on set, you definitely have to be problem solving and everything, but it doesn't just stop there. You have to problem solve sometimes in post, or a lot of times in post. So you gotta just, calm yourself and just think about it. Okay, there's gotta be solutions here. So being able to think on your toes and problem solve is vital during these type of things.
Hold on, let me bring you up to speed before we take on this horde of deadly aliens called glitches.
The young actors attack these people infected by aliens. So the first shot was me, and I wanted myself to run at the main character, but get my legs chopped so then I can fall to her height, so she can chop my head off. My head will spin. So the way I achieved that, I knew for sure I needed to put the green screen on location. And for this type of thing, when you don't have a lot of time, you want to make sure the lighting matches as good as you can. So having the green screen outside in the sun, and if you can face it the right way, is the best. I could have just had my head fly off and just turn, but I wanted it to spin. So I just stand in place and just start turning my body. And then I was gonna go ahead and just restabilize that and spin me later and speed it up so then I actually look like I'm rotating, right? So just turn it the right direction. That's how we achieved that. So the next shot was basically all practical with masks from After Effects, which I thought was pretty fun and easy to do. I was gonna go ahead and just green screen this situation, but then I realized, why don't we just mask him and actually have him running? It was pretty simple. Just had him run at the camera, do it a couple times, And then when he jumped at the explosion that would happen on his body, he puts his hands like this and his arms like this. That shadow caused against the ground looked like his torso. But you have to make sure you shoot that very fast because the lighting can change rapidly, and then all of a sudden your two shots won't match. So you got to make sure. What I always do is I always have the people run off shot, and I just keep the shot there for a little bit because I know I can still frame it later of the exact same shot, and then use that as the backplate. And then for an extra effect, I wanted his lower half to rock by the main characters, so we just went ahead and shot him on green screen, lift his shirt up, and start tap dancing pretty much in place.
Yep.
The character gets sliced in half, and I was like, what if we go ahead and have him get chopped with the middle of his body, and his body is going to separate? And I actually had to use liquefy tool and stretch it to whatever I wanted. And then we shoot one half of him moaning and groaning to like he's been chopped. But don't fall over. And then the other side, shoot that side of him do the moaning and groaning, but act like he falls over. Because I knew that at least one side was gonna fall. And if I could probably make both sides fall, but just for now I was gonna have one side fall. And then at the end of the day, what's funny and ironic is I made them both fall. So you never know. I mean, you can picture something, but when you actually do it, you sometimes change your mind. So again, being more, problem-solving mindset when you're doing editing and post also helps achieve the best results. So I went online and found a bunch of like pieces of cadavers and things sliced in half, and used that for the base of the inside of his body, and then just keyframe that so he didn't look like he was 2D. It actually gave him depth and dimension, which was great. Then you slap on a bunch of blood splatters and drips, and at the end of the day, there's your shot. So when you do these type of effects, just stack. The more layers you do, brings everything to life. And sometimes your eye doesn't know any different. The more things you have that can give the realism, the better.
Game over, man!
For the CG monster alien creature at the end, we lit them with the light just basically on the back every time, and then I just rotated towards the sun, but the sun was kind of setting, so we had to just do as much as we could adjusting with that. And I think at the end of the day, it still worked. We just couldn't be so accurate to the T because of the light and the angles, and that had to play a lot there, and we had no time to really just reanimate everything while I was editing. So we had to just edit and stick the shots in there and paste it all together, and that actually didn't take long at all. It's just ideally you want to match the sun on the right parts of the face of the creature that you're actually shooting on, but I think it worked out just fine the way we got it. All right, it's about 12:30. We're a little early. Had to do some Foley work real quick outside the backyard. And here we are. About to hit the render on this sucker. This is what the great thing about filmmaking is. There's no, correct and right or wrong way to do stuff. As long as you just go out there and make stories because you love it, you enjoy it. It doesn't matter if you have 2 people or 30 or 40 people involved. You learn every different production. So we finished our film, went to the screening of the film challenge. It was fun. We took out a couple of awards that night, and my daughter got Best Actress, which I was really proud of her.
Our Best Actress award goes to, and I think she kind of carried this film, it was awesome, it was to Ava Navarro for Van Damage by Enraged
I think her just being willing to just listen to me and think of Dad as the director and doing all the crazy things that I've been doing since I was her age just helped me understand where her mindset goes so she could have fun with everything. I just want to make a shout out to all the great people that helped make our film possible. So, and that's pretty much it. I just wanted to touch base on the VFX of our film, Van Damage, that played for the Almost Famous Film Festival, 72-hour film challenge. And that's about it. If you want to check out any of my other content, I have a lot of my short films on this channel, as well as about 15 or 16 or even more behind the scenes of how we did these films. If you like what you see, go ahead and thumbs up, subscribe, and all that stuff, and I'll see you later. Bye.
That's how I became Van Damage.
Smile at Eva, Asher. Asher, don't slice her.
Ow! That's his banshee scream.